Welcome to the 10-Minute Ephesiologist with Dr. Michael T. Cooper, a podcast focused on engaging culture in a New Testament manner. On today's podcast,
far from inhibiting a movement, this intentional preparation strengthens it, enabling missionaries to enter the field with resilience, adaptability, and humility.
Now here's Dr. Cooper with more.
In recent years, theological education has earned mixed reviews from those on the mission field. Some missionaries share disappointing stories of seminary experiences that left them unprepared for the hands-on realities of cross-cultural ministry. For others, theological training introduced a sense of intellectual pride or entitlement, and they left feeling distanced from the people they were called to serve. These concerns reflect a genuine tension around theological education, particularly for those preparing for cross-cultural missions. How can we equip missionaries with the theological depth they need while grounding them in humility, practical skills, and a heart of service? The answer in part lies in a balanced approach to theological education that integrates knowledge, relational intimacy with God, and practical ministry experience. By reimagining theological training through a model that combines intellectual knowledge, intimate knowledge, and experiential knowledge, and overlaying it with missiological theology's threefold approach of curiosity, discovery, and wonder, we can shape missionaries who are both grounded and adaptable, knowledgeable, and humble. Such a model holds the potential to turn theological education from a stigma into a powerful tool for creating mature, resilient, and effective missionaries. For many, the idea of theological education brings to mind images of classrooms, dense textbooks, and abstract debates far removed from the practical realities of the mission field. Some missionaries describe their theological education as overly academic or impractical, leaving them unprepared for the dynamic and often unpredictable nature of cross-cultural work. Others observe that seminaries often foster an elitist attitude where students gain knowledge, but ultimately lose sight of the relational and spiritual dimensions of their ministry. This disconnect can produce seminarians who view themselves as authorities rather than servants, and who may struggle to connect with the communities they're sent to engage. These critiques highlight a real issue within theological education. When knowledge is siloed or isolated from practical and spiritual development, it can lead to an imbalance of intellectualism without humility, skills without heart, and understanding without application. Yet, an intentional, well-rounded theological education need not be a barrier to effective ministry or movements. When approached holistically, it can serve as the very foundation upon which sustainable cross-cultural missions is built. A balanced approach to theological education begins with three essential dimensions: intellectual knowledge, intimate knowledge, and experiential knowledge. When integrated, these dimensions form the foundation for a missionary who is not only theologically informed, but also spiritually mature and practically equipped. Intellectual knowledge is a dimension that involves building a deep doctrinal foundation in Scripture and theology. It equips missionaries to interpret Scripture accurately, apply biblical truth to real-world situations, and provide sound teaching within their mission's context. While intellectual knowledge alone can lead to pride, in balance with other dimensions, it provides essential clarity and doctrinal stability, enabling missionaries to contextualize the gospel without compromising its message. The second dimension is relational and involves developing a close personal walk with God. It's intimate knowledge, and it goes beyond head knowledge to heart knowledge, shaping missionaries to embody humility, resilience, and love in their work. When intellectual learning is rooted in intimate knowledge, it produces a missionary who is not only informed, but transformed, motivated by a deep love for God and for others. Finally, experiential knowledge is the third dimension. It's the practical knowledge. It focuses on the hands and experience in the real world. Like a medical residency, experiential knowledge provides missionaries with opportunities to apply what they've learned, test their skills, and grow through mentorship. Practical experience allows missionaries to develop essential cross-cultural skills, build meaningful relationships, and learn to navigate the unique challenges of each mission field. By integrating these three dimensions, theological education becomes a journey of discipleship rather than mere academic study. Missionaries trained in intellectual, intimate, and experiential knowledge are equipped to serve with both knowledge and empathy, bridging the gap between theological understanding and real-world impact. Complementing this model is the threefold approach of missiological theology: curiosity, discovery, and wonder, which provides a missional lens for engaging with culture. When paired with a balanced theological education, this approach shapes missionaries who are both theologically grounded and culturally sensitive. In regards to curiosity, effective missionaries enter new cultures with a spirit of curiosity, eager to learn about the local people's beliefs, values, and customs. Curiosity fosters respect, preventing missionaries from imposing their own cultural norms on those they serve. Instead, they become learners, gaining insights that allow them to contextualize the gospel thoughtfully. Intellectual knowledge supports this by equipping missionaries with a deep understanding of the gospel, ensuring that their curiosity remains anchored in biblical truth. Discovery involves discerning where God is at work within a community and learning to partner with Him in His mission. Rather than viewing themselves as the sole bearers of truth, missionaries embrace the reality that God has been working long before they arrived. Intimate knowledge plays a key role here, enabling missionaries to tune into the Spirit's leading, recognize God's presence, and discern how best to join Him in bringing transformation to the community. Finally, wonder keeps missionaries grounded in humility and awe. It's the posture of recognizing the privilege of participating in God's mission, a posture that guards against pride and fuels perseverance. Through experiential knowledge, wonder is nurtured by hands-on experiences that reveal God's power and grace at work in real lives. This sense of wonder turns mission work from a task into an act of worship, reminding missionaries of the sacredness of their calling. Together, these three elements, combined with the three dimensions of theological education, provide a beautiful kaleidoscope of meaningful missionary preparation and guide missionaries into deeper cultural engagement. Together, they help missionaries navigate the nuances of culture with sensitivity and respect. Curiosity, discovery, and wonder ensure that the missionaries remain humble learners and faithful servants, ready to adapt and respond to the unique challenges of each culture they encounter. By combining the three dimensions of theological education with the threefold approach of missiological theology, we address many of the criticisms commonly leveled at theological training. Intellectual pride, for example, is tempered by intimate knowledge and wonder, which remind missionaries that their ministry is rooted in humility and worship, not knowledge alone. Practical inadequacies is countered by experiential knowledge and discovery, as hands-on experience teaches missionaries to adapt and apply their learning in real-world contexts. And the sense of privilege is reframed by curiosity, which transforms missionaries from authorities into learners, ready to serve and engage with humility. This approach reframes theological education as discipleship, a process of whole person formation that prepares missionaries not only with knowledge, but with the character and skills needed for enduring impact. Missionaries trained in this way enter the field as servant learners, grounded in Scripture, attuned to God's work, and equipped to serve with empathy and respect. The goal is not to stifle their zeal, but to channel it into sustainable, spiritually rooted ministry that honors God and serves the community faithfully. The expanding mission field requires a new generation of missionaries who are both passionate and prepared. By embracing a balanced model of intellectual, intimate, and experiential knowledge overlaid with curiosity, discovery, and wonder, we provide missionaries with a framework that grounds their calling in discipleship, cultural sensitivity, and practical experience. Far from inhibiting a movement, this intentional preparation strengthens it, enabling missionaries to enter the field with resilience, adaptability, and humility. Ultimately, theological education in this form is not a barrier, but a bridge. It enables missionaries to translate their passion into lasting impact, equipping them to serve with both depth and wisdom. By reimagining theological training as holistic discipleship, we honor the missionary calling, strengthen the movements we seek to build, and serve the communities entrusted to our care with depth, respect, and love. In this model, theological education becomes what it was always meant to be, a pathway to transformative service in God's mission.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. For more practical information about engaging culture, visit Ephesiology.com. If you are ready to dive deeper, please consider one of our Ephesiology masterclasses. Learn more at masterclasses.ephesiology.com. Until next time, this has been the 10-Minute Ephesiologist.